Good morning, everybody. Let's go ahead and get started. Let me know if you guys can hear my audio and see my screen in the chat box. Just give me a little Y or a yes there, just to let me know that it is working. Awesome. Hope everybody's having a fantastic morning. Hopefully your weekend was awesome. Let's jump into this. As always, I need to remind you guys about the risks involved in the market. You can lose all or more than your initial investment if you're not careful. So please be aware of how many pips you're risking on each trade, in addition to how big your lot size is and ultimately how that would affect your account if you were to lose money. Okay, awesome, guys. So let's do this. Let's check out the news for this morning, just kind of get an overlay of what's happening in the market. To be honest, there has not been a lot today. The real big news event is tonight with the Aussie, and you've got a rate statement coming out. So we'll see how that plays out tonight. We might stay away from a few Aussie pairs just because of that. But yes, let's jump into the markets and see if we can grab a banker's close trade with this in mind. Let me jump down to a 5-minute chart. Let me look up our favorite pairs. Let's go to the Euro franc, see where that's at. Yeah, that's actually kind of lining up right now. Okay, I'm gonna just snag a few of these real quick. So I'm gonna buy the Euro franc, and I'm just gonna get into a starter position here. And yeah, this will be good. This will be real good. Okay, perfect. So I got a starter position. Got 10 or so trades. And I am going to scale into this. So the boxes where this is most likely to take off are where it is now, or just because you've got a nice little consolidation in the past back here that caused a breakout. And then this would be I'd say the best area to buy, which the market technically has already been there. It came down, touched to it just barely. That would be a really good spot to buy at. Like I said, the market about 5-10 minutes ago got close to it, but didn't quite get there. And then, so that would be the best place to buy. And then let's see, where are some other good places to buy this? I'm going to move these stops out just a little bit right now as we're working the banker's close trade. But yeah, I mean, already, I know I took several trades, but already I'm up 45 pips on that just from what we took a few moments ago. And yeah, I will scale into this position, especially if it comes into the old box I was talking about. Yeah, if it comes into this box, don't mind if I do, right? Take some there. And then where are some other areas that would be really good buy areas on a banker's close trade setup? This was kind of a solid consolidation before a breakout. I would say right there would be a great place to buy. It looks like the market already did come here and did really well. You'll see that in just a second. I'm frozen for a second. There we go. Okay. See this right here? So back here, the market made this little, I'll zoom into it, this little consolidation. And this consolidation is what was preceding the breakout, like what caused the market to jump up like it did. So those are the things you want to pay attention to. So since that's the case, when the market comes back into this area, I actually came back into here one time, went up from there, it came back into here recently this morning, and then, shot up from there. So this would be another area of interest. I won't put trades in there right now, but we'll keep an eye on it. Like obviously if the market breaks down, this would be an area of interest for us for a banker's close setup. But obviously so far so good. We're up almost 50 pips on this trade. And yeah, we'll let this thing ride. This thing has the potential to not only go to the mid Bollinger Band, but it has the potential to make a new high. So I'm going to leave my targets where they are and see if we can get, squeeze out some more pips out of this trade. One of the things I really like about this trade as well, we are trading in the direction of the market. And I do like to do that as much as I can. It's not a requirement for our strategy. I'll repeat that again. It's not a requirement to trade in the direction of the market, like overall, but it is kind of a bonus, if you can. Obviously, we've just had a pullback from the overall direction, which is nice. Again, we don't have any news with this pair right now. Um, not for a long time. Um, or last hour of the trading day for not New York, for London, right? And so we should have a really smooth trade here. Even if the market wants to come down a little bit, like we've got some really good buy blocks nearby. So the fact that we have those nearby and no news, end of trading day, like this is one of those classic bankers close setups, without a lot of, in my opinion, without a lot of issues. So I'm looking forward to this. So we'll let this thing sit. Now we're up over 50 pips, which is awesome. We'll let this thing sit, do its thing. We need to recap a few trades and work on a couple of trades that we took over the weekend. And we're going to look for more trades to take this weekend. But I think where we have everything set up, this is probably good. Since I am going to leave this chart for a moment and we're going to go work on some swing trades, I think I will actually just post a couple of buy limits here just in case the market does for some reason pull back significantly. So yeah, I will place a few buy limits down here just in case. But other than that, I think we're ready to just let that guy do its thing and go from there. Actually, let me bring in some of these targets to this old high. These are a little too far away for the market. Just a little too far. I'll leave a couple of trades though to ride and see if we can get there. Now we're up 76 pips. That's awesome. Yeah, it's gonna be a good, it's already so far so good, right? But we're gonna let this thing continue to do its thing. I really think there's more to this opportunity than just what's available to us already. So all right, guys, so let's jump over to our other charts. So we had, let's talk about the unfortunate thing that happened last night. So I did lose on my Aussie dollar trade, which was really a bummer because at one point I was up over 3 grand on this trade, and now I've realized a $2,900 loss. So it's kind of annoying. This is all a recent development. We bought, in fact, let me show you on TradingView where we bought. Um, EuroCAD's actually doing good. We can talk about that. Obviously, fun to talk about the winners, but we also need to talk about the losers, right? So this is the Aussie dollar, and I got really excited about this trade when I took it on Friday. And I may re-enter because it still looks good. The only thing though that makes me think maybe I should just move on to a different pair is we do have that rate statement coming out tonight. So I was hoping to have closed my, last night when I checked the trade, I was up 2 or 3 grand. And so I was like, okay, well, why don't I just let this thing go? Honestly, maybe it would have been smart to bring that stop loss a little closer to lock in. Like if it were to pull back, I could have taken a much smaller loss. Um, yeah, that was kind of my bad. I got a little greedy to be honest. Like last week I had such a great week. I just kind of assumed, like I kind of just took that like wielding power to the next week, right? And it's important to always respect the market even when you're doing well. You know what I mean? But nonetheless, it's fine. It's like even though it lost, it's still a calculated loss. It's not like, oh my gosh, you're out of business now. Like, no, no, no. Like we take calculated losses. Like whenever we take a trade, we look at our take profit, we look at our entry, we look at our stop loss, and we make sure that everything fits our model. With that trade, I had a 2-to-1 reward to risk ratio. So when I was up 3 grand, I was nearly halfway to my take profit, which was like a 6 grand. Like I was trying to make 6 grand, 7 grand on the trade. Ended up losing just under 3,000, which again, that's within my trading plan. It's okay. And so I do want to make that clear. Like, I feel like a lot of new traders, they come in and they're like, oh my gosh, like Steve took a $3,000 loss. That's crazy. How do you do that? But like that's normal, right? That's within the trading plan because as you guys know, last week we took several trades that I had many trades that I can count on my hand here that made about a five grand a piece. Each one made over 5 grand. And there were many of them. And there were lots of trades that made 1, 2, 3 grand, right? So, I think that's important to remember. All right, so let's talk about why I took this trade in the first place for those that weren't here. So I was looking at the Aussie dollar and I was looking for a continuation to the upside. I saw, obviously, I don't use this a lot, but I like to just see what TradingView is saying. TradingView is like, yep, it's a buy. It was actually a strong buy on Friday. Not that that matters a ton, but what really got me interested in this trade was the fact that where the market was at the time, it was right here. It was sitting in an area where there weren't any order blocks. Like I'll draw it out. Right here, there was no order blocks. None. And the market was just sitting there. And I'm like, okay, that's moving quick. And it did. Obviously, it did. Moved against me very quick. No order blocks right there. None. It's just a single candlestick, right? Like what's going to cause, like what makes that an area where the market should stop, right? So obviously it came here, stopped for a second, and then came down. So, and that was to be expected, right? When you see a market that's in the middle of an area that's not an order block, yeah, it's going to move quickly because there's no liquidity there, right? Markets move away from they move to liquidity. And then when they leave that liquidity zone, they go to the next liquidity zone, whether that be up or down. That's just how the markets move. So that's what I looked at there. And I said to myself, okay, well, it's already in an uptrend. It looks like people are willing to buy this. They're willing to push it higher. Where's the next order block? Well, I said, okay, I drew out my own order block right here. And then there's another order block right here. And it looks like Sonar Lab is saying, yeah, there's a couple in there. And then I drew out my another personal order block right here. And Sonar Lab's like, yeah, there's a couple in there too. So I'm using the Sonar Lab indicator coupled with my own analysis, and sure enough, that's where liquidity is. Liquidity is up here, not here, and it's already pushing up. So my theory, or my not theory, but my plan was to ride this to the next order block, which would be basically right from here to here. Well, when I bought this, I bought it like right here, and I was going to ride this to about there. So I was going to try to make 100 pips on this trade, right? At minimum, potential to go maybe 200 or 150 to some of these blocks right here in the middle. That was my plan. And I felt pretty confident about this trade. I really did. Um, I think honestly, there was some new, I checked this morning, there was some like news about what was it? Like inflation easing, or like interest rates might be flipping and stuff like that. And so that may be kind of a cause for why like a lot of pairs that were moving one direction are now flipping the other direction, which happens. Like that's just something you have to deal with. Like it's just part of the market. I need to do some more research into the fundamental side this morning. I should have done some more research yesterday, but that is something that I'm going to be pursuing, just because if there is going to be a Fed shift globally, we need to be kind of on top of that and ready to go for that. But that's also why, because we can't be aware of like everything. Like it's hard to be aware of everything that's going on. It's also why you just have to practice proper risk management, even if you're just dang confident in a trade. You really do. You really have to have those stop losses in there. You have to demand the market give you at least a 2-to-1, 3-to-1, 4-to-1 reward to risk ratio. You have to do that. Otherwise, when you lose, that loss is just going to be so overcoming that you just can't return from it. I've done that many, many times in my 10+ years trading, where, I used to trade like this. I don't know if you guys have done this type of trading before, where like, I'd see the market coming. Maybe let's say I was going to buy this like I was. I used to be the type of guy, and I really regret that I used to do this, but I used to place, here, I'll show you on the charts over here. Let's go to the Aussie dollar. It's easier for me to draw it over here. I used to be the type of guy that would pull up the hourly chart like I was trading on. And I used to be so confident in a trade, like a swing trade like this, where I just place a buy and a buy, and if it kept going down, I keep buying with no stop loss in sight, like no opinion of a stop loss anywhere. I'm just going to keep buying this, right? And this is how you blow accounts. Like, obviously, this market comes down, just comes down, you're going to get margin called, you're going to get stopped out, and your risk is just going to be way too high, and you're going to lose money, right? I traded like this for years, guys. Like, most of the time I'd make money like this, because most of the time the market will turn around, right? Like, if you do your analysis correctly, like, the market will turn around and you'll make your money and you'll be fine. Um, that's how I was doing it, and I was getting away with it for a long time. But that one day, like, the market just goes like this and just keeps going, you know, that happens. And when it does happen, that one day in many moons, it blows your account. Like, it really has. I'm sure some of you either watching this live or in the recording could probably relate with me on that. That kind of trading just doesn't work. And so it all comes down to whatever your trading plan is. It all comes down to um, like having that proper reward to risk ratio, right? Like, I've already stopped out of this trade and it's still going down. Like, which, so I'm glad I'm stopped out, right? Will I re-enter? I might, but I would need another entry signal. Like, I would need a signal to tell me, like, yep, get into this trade, which we can look for. So we need to, that we need an entry signal that falls within our trading plan. And then we need risk management that falls within our trading plan. And again, I will take 2-to-1 reward to risk ratio trades on my swing trades / overnight trades. Like, I will do that. But I do prefer something that's 3-to-1, maybe 4-to-1, right? And heck, who wouldn't complain over a 6-to-1 or a 7-to-1, especially if it had a good win rate behind it. Yeah, like 7-to-1, my gosh, if you're hitting 7-to-1, you can lose a lot of trades and still be profitable, right? So anyway, this is what I was thinking with this trade, guys. Is I saw a lot of buy blocks. I saw it was continuation. I saw that it was in the middle of a non-order block, and I considered this market not where it should be, and so I was looking to ride this as a continuation. Obviously didn't work out that way. And I think it had a lot to do with the Fed pivot going on right now and speculation before the Aussie rate statement tonight. I think that's what it had a lot to do with. Because I think we're quickly just curious to look at some of these other pairs. Let me look at the USD franc. Yeah, like the USD franc came into a lot of order blocks last night, and it's been pushing up ever since. Anyway, okay, I was just curious. Okay, the other trade that we're in, and now so that was the only loser that we've had. And it is something important to talk about. But okay, this trade, is this coming into some blocks here? Let's take a look. So we have a trade that is up. We're up $1,300 or $1,400 on this trade. It's on the Euro CAD, and it's basically the same thing. Um, let's talk about this trade. So let me actually jump down to like a 1 hour. Actually, it doesn't show up here. So first of all, let's remove Sonar Lab. I always do my own analysis first before I throw up any indicators, right? So the Euro CAD has been just on a absolute tear to the upside recently. Just absolute juggernaut runner, okay? And again, I used to be this type of trader. I don't know about you guys, but I made the analogy of, hey, I'd see a market running up like this, and on Fridays I would just come in here and, you know, I'd see it coming up and I'd be like, oh my gosh, I'm just gonna sell, sell, sell. And then it keeps selling, I keep selling, I keep selling, and it just keeps going. And there's no end in sight, right? And I'd have back when I used to trade like that, I'd have no mechanism or anything available at my that I knew about that would tell me if the market was actually going to turn around. It was very subjective. I know it was crazy. It was honestly gambling when I would just go in there and just be like, okay, personally think the market's too high. And then I just go in there and make the call. And then, you know, I'd say most of the time it'd go against me like that. Um, so with this guy, I felt like this move to the upside has been justified. Like I'm actually doing my research this time. I had a lot of reasons to believe that this thing was just going to keep going up, not come down. Back when the market was over here. And now, we've made between here and here, you know, $1,500 almost between that move. And is it going to keep going? We're going to find out here in just a second. I may close this trade. I may keep it. Just depends on a couple of things. But whenever I see a market that's running high like this, it's at a multi-month high. Like, how do I know the market's going to come down or keep going up? It all comes back to the past, right? You have to go back here and find where are the order blocks, right? Technically, you could argue that this is kind of an order block area. It's really not that strong though, guys. I would say this is a little bit of an order block. I'm going to draw that out. That's a little bit of something, but the true one, guys, is this one up here. Basically, this is the last order block because whatever the market did here is what broke this support level. And you can see it was pretty defined back here, pretty defined little support. Yeah, whatever the market did here, and honestly, I'm gonna include like this right here. So whatever the market did right here is what caused the massive breakout. You can see the nice consolidation here and then just break, right? Whenever you see a big break, go back and find out what caused it because that's an order block. Okay, that's your key. So whenever you're doing this on your own charts, I want you to go back and find big breaks in the past. Okay, what caused them? Okay, great. Draw your order block. And then bring those order blocks forward so that you can now do an analysis. So if I bring these forward, you can see where we're at with things. And so this, in my opinion, with my own analysis, would be considered I believe this is an order block, or these two purple zones are areas where the sellers might come in. And obviously right here didn't work. It's not even that solid of a one. The real one is this guy up here. That's where the real sellers are. In fact, I wouldn't even be interested in selling at all unless the market came into this purple area. I really wouldn't. So that's really where our take profit is on this guy. Now, after you do your own analysis, feel free to pull up SonarLab and find out where those order blocks are. So far, just buy blocks on the 2 hour. If you don't see them on the higher time frame, just on the time frame you're on, just go up a time frame and then they'll show up. So here we are. Looks like we're coming into a little bit of one right here, at least in terms of SonarLab. But most of these blocks are pretty much, there's 3 blocks inside my purple block here. And then there's actually a ton of up here. Let's try a 4 hour. I want to see. Yeah, so on the 4 hour, it's actually saying that the true blocks are at the start of my block and at the end of my block, right? So here's mine and here's SonarLab. SonarLab saying, yep, there's one here and there's one here. And I'm saying that this whole thing, this whole area is a block right here. So that's why I believe there a continuation of the EuroCAD is a merited trade. Like I believe this market will probably continue higher for the next, and we'll want to get out of this 57 pips or so. For the next 57 pips, in my opinion, those are almost solid pips. Those, I don't want to say that they're guaranteed because it's not, but I feel comfortable enough. I'll say that I will feel comfortable enough to stay in this trade for another 57 pips. But then at that point, the, I believe the market has every right to just pull back at that point. So if it comes up 57 pips and it hits here, yeah, a pullback, it could pull back for sure. Personally, I think markets like to return to where liquidity is at. And as you guys know, and as you can see here, there is a lot of liquidity out here. And it may try to get into all of this. I don't know how far it's going to go. I don't want to gamble and figure out if it's going to go to this one up here or come retest some of these. All I know is that the next true area is basically this block right here. And for me, what I like to do is I like to just pull out at the nearest block. So for me, all I'm looking for is a scalp that's, 57 pips on this guy from where I've currently got, I'm up, I said $1,400 on the Euro CAD. Let me make sure my take profit's in a good spot. So I bought down here. It's funny, actually, real quick thought. It's funny that I bought down here because a few days ago, I would have said I bought up here. So it's all perspective, right? It's like all perspective, because now this where we bought appears to be a low price. Like it appears to be a price that's much lower than where the market is now, right? But I'm sure a couple days ago, like if I could pull this chart over, I would have been like, yeah, we bought up here. Like we bought at a high price. Is it really a high price though? Right? Isn't that interesting? Like our eyes tell us it's a high price a couple days ago, but now our eyes today are telling us, hey, that was a low price. That was a good price to buy at, right? Kind of interesting perspective. So how far is this going to go? Again, I'm looking for another 57 pips out of this. Let's see, that would put us, okay, so my target's way too far because I've got it 129 pips away. Let me get an actual price where I want to close out at. I would like to close this trade. I want to close when we hit right there. So that's a 143. So at 143, I am closing out. I'm taking my money. 1.43, modify. There, right there. That's where I'm taking my money on this trade. Can we bring the stop loss closer? Yeah, I honestly feel like we should at this point. Like I kind of got burned. I got burned on the I got burned with this Aussie dollar trade. So yeah, I should probably bring that up so we don't risk as much now. Now, like if we were to lose, I'd lose $600 instead of 3,000 or whatever that was. So yeah, let's just and plus I feel really good about this. So we'll let this guy do its thing, let it go its way, and it'll be good. Another 57 pips. What's that gonna make on this trade? Like if we win, yeah, we'll make just under $2,500 on this trade. So that'll be awesome. That'll be a good trade. And now our risk is lessened because our stop loss has moved up. But that's why I took this trade, guys. If you go back to here, we're not at an order block right now. We really aren't. All the liquidity is up here, and it kind of starts here. And I'm only getting out. I might be getting out early, making the $2,500. I just don't know if I feel comfortable going all the way up to here. That's a long ways. But what I feel most comfortable about is there's another 57 pips to go because this market is not at a stopping point right now. Like if you go back in time, this is not a stopping point. This is absolutely not a stopping point in the market. There would be no reason for the market to stop right here, no liquidity purpose of stopping right here, which is the key. But there is when you come into this area, right? When you finally come into this old area where support was formed, and also not just where it was formed, but like the mechanism that caused support to form and to break. Most importantly, what caused support or resistance to break starts right here. That's why we have another 57 pips to go on this trade. So no, I am not going to close my trade out. No, I'm not at this point, which is so cool for me to say. Like I don't know about you guys, but like I used to not know. Like I used to trade and I would just be like, well, $1,500 sounds like a good return. Like I don't want to lose that. Like, I'm just gonna take my money. I traded like that for years, guys. Oh man. I wish I was humble enough back then. Like I wish I could have gone back and just been like, dude, you don't know anything. And so yeah, anyway, it's just like and it's not, and back then maybe if I had a trading plan, like if I had an actual plan as to when I would close, when I would get out, um, things would have been better. But I didn't, which is so cool because now, I mean, you can always change, right? Obviously, we're changing now. We're doing better. We're doing what we need to be doing. But okay, so I'm gonna let this do its thing. Let this ride out. What I'd like to do now, here, let's go check to see how our trade's doing over here. So Euro Franc trade's still up 70 pips, hasn't done much from the last time we checked on it. Uh, but I'm just gonna move back to that chart just for a second to see how it's doing. What has it done since we've been away? Looks like it's just been doing whatever right in here. So we'll see if it makes another high or so. I think it will. I think we're going to see this thing continue up. Or even if it comes down, we'll be fine. We'll add to it later. But yeah, no, I do think there's more to this trade. Should we close out a few? Maybe. Yeah, I'm gonna just close out at like two little trades here, guys, and then just to book a little bit of profit on this, and then I'm just gonna let this thing continue to do its thing. Okay, because I do think there's more to go on this Euro Franc bankers close trade, so I'm gonna let that keep going. All right, guys, so let's look for some more swing opportunities, swing slash continuation slash order blocks, whatever you want to call it. So what I do when I'm doing my analysis is I just turn off um, I turn off um, the Sonar Lab, right? Like I just turn it off completely, and I just look for my own indications of where the market's going. This is interesting. This Aussie cat looks like it came up to one of my blocks just barely and pulled back. Will it continue or not? I don't know. Yeah, it looks like that's a block there. And then really, truly, honestly, there's not much until up in these areas. So we'll see what happens. Um, let's see. Let me actually pull up Sonar Labs, see what's going on here. Let me do this. I like to, so there's different, I'll trade on a 1 hour time frame and look for these setups, and I'll trade a 15-minute. The 15 minutes gives me more opportunities. Let me expand this chart out. Let me see if I can find some legit setups. This Aussie cat is starting to make some lower lows, which would have me a little concerned about a continuation to the upside at this point on this pair. We will see though. Because if you were to buy this, I mean, the places of interest would have been, I guess this is a nice little order block. It looks like it came into here just barely, or almost came into here. That would have been an area to buy at. But yeah, I'm gonna move. If I don't like it, I just move on to the next pair. I really do. Okay, where is this thing pulling back into? This is interesting to me. This was a nice little block right here. The market you can see it came into it right there, wicked into it, and then went up. and has since pulled back and made another lower low. So that's something to be aware of as far as the future of this pair goes. For me, the ideal trade to take at this point would be like if I can, like since the trend is flipping a little bit, something like right here, like a sell right in there would be ideal, because this was the last little thing that caused this market to break. So yeah, if it flipped in here in the next couple of hours, that might be a good trade. To be honest though, I wonder if we should stay away from a lot of these Aussie pairs because of that news event tonight. Although there could be some really good setups. I'm just not big into the news, right? So I might just stay away from that. All right, guys. So I'm gonna switch over to some non-Aussie pairs. Okay, so this guy's coming down. I wonder where is liquidity on this guy. Wow, this is really, it hasn't been here in a long time. I might have to go to a higher time frame. This CAD franc, it has not been here in a long time. Holy moly. When was the last time it was here? Dang, this is back in January of 2021. Jeez. Okay, like I almost don't even have data that goes back this far on this. Like I have a subscription with TradingView, but I think if I want to go back even further than that, I need bigger data. Let me try a 2-hour time frame. Let me see if that's anything different. Yeah, this helps. So yeah, the last time the market was over here was this. And this is kind of confusing because all of this isn't really like solid order blocks. You could argue that this was one right here, but the market blew past that. Like it worked out the first time, like obviously the market pulled back into it and then went up. But yeah, I don't know about this one. I know it's come down quite a bit and there will be a huge opportunity here. I just don't know how to identify this one very well. I wonder if you could pull up Sonar Lab and get some help. Probably not that far away. You might have to go on to a much higher time frame. Yeah. So on a 4-hour chart, it says there's some blocks down here. And you'd have to go back all the way to here to find those. Back in 2020 and 2021. That's where these are. So yeah, I mean, there are going to be some opportunities here, but it's hard to say because, it's all scattered through here. Liquidity starts here and goes all the way. I guess there's 122 pips where I'd say the market could form a reversal anywhere between now and 122 pips. Is it worth trading? Probably, but are there better trades to take? Yes. So I might come back. It's just something to be aware of. Anyway, I'm going to go back to what I was doing. Let's go check some other charts. Again, I like to remove Sonar Lab when I'm doing this type of analysis. So this thing's also creating a lot of lows here. It recently popped up. It's just pushing lower. So you're just identifying like where's the market going to come up and stop? This one, I wouldn't say there's really any blocks that I'd be interested in unless it came up to, say, here. That's the next area where I'd be interested to sell. To buy, that's a different story. With buying, you do have to, again, go back, find out when was the last time the market was in these areas. Oh, back over here. Okay. Here's structure. What caused it to break it? Technically, this little thing caused a market break. And then I would also argue that this thing right here is a block right there, because whatever the market did here in that little dip and then buy is what continued that huge move. So has the market even hit that yet? Let's find out. Like, has it gone here Let's find out. Ah, I hate it when I miss great trades. Look at that. Look at that. When did that happen? That's amazing. Well, I guess that was on December. Well, that was yesterday. Dang it. That's okay. I just wasn't paying attention to that level. But look how amazing that is. Like you literally just go back from what happened in May, finding this order block from over here. Like, okay, what caused the break of resistance here? Oh, okay, it's whatever, whatever the market did in here, in this consolidation slash mechanism is what caused that huge move, right? And then you fast forward to now, to November, and we dip into it, and then that happens, right? It's okay. Like, could it come back in there again, be an opportunity? Maybe. I like to be the first to it because you're more likely to win if you're the first guy to those opportunities, right? All right, let's keep looking for more opportunities here. This Frank Yen probably was the same thing. I bet you that there's probably some kind of order block just below right there. I'm sure if you want, yep, there it is. Oh man, I hate it when I miss great trades. I really do. It pains me. It really does pain me when I lose, when I not lose, but when I don't take great trades. See, nice structure level right here. Break of structure caused this huge move. What caused it? Whatever the market did right here. You pull this fast forward, this block, and then anything in there would be a great buy. And sure enough, and that happened just late last night, this morning. So anyway, just something like this, it comes and goes, right? These kinds of things come and go. Like it's not like, I guess I got to tell myself, hey, you can grab better trades, you can take better trades. It just stinks to know that something that golden existed and then I wasn't there and I wasn't ready at present. I mean, like, look at this. Our buy, which would have been somewhere right here, would be up 143, 150 pips on this trade right now. And then our stop loss would have been like 50 or 75 pips. So definitely a worthwhile trade. All right. Anyway, we move along. Actually, before I move along from that, is there any other interest areas? Well, if this thing kept going up, there could be an opportunity to sell right here. This would be the next block. Let's see, does Sonar Lab say so too? I guess not on an hourly. Let's see, does it say on a 15? Is that a block on the 15? Let's find out. Yeah, it is. Yeah, right where I drew it. And I guess technically right there too. I wouldn't trade that one though. So yeah, that would be my next area of selling interest. And then maybe one right here. But so what I need to do, really, my job is to go in here and place all these trades, and then I can just screenshot my orders, and then I can let you guys know what those are. I mean, it's just Monday, right? Like obviously some really great trades would have been awesome to have taken last night to start the week, but such is life. We'll get some good trades next week. And we did, although we did have a loser on the Aussie dollar, that Euro CAD, we took part of a really good trade, and that one's not even done yet. Like I do believe we're going to make more on that trade before it's done. Okay, here's Euro Aussie. This thing's been a juggernaut. Um, Honestly, on a pullback, I'd be interested on this, but where would the pullback be? For me, area of interest for a pullback would be something like, well, so what you want to identify is where's the break of structure? This was the break. Okay. So what caused it? Basically, whatever the market did right here. So a buy in there would be absolutely amazing. That could happen. The thing is, again, we're just being a little bit cautious with the Aussie right now because there's a, a news event looming. It's not necessarily a bad thing, but I might trade in there. I might grab a trade anyway, especially if I can keep that stop tight. That would be a great little order block area. Let's see, does Sonolab say so? They're saying it's down here. I'm saying that it's this whole area. Okay. There's that Euro CAD. We're already in this trade. We're writing the continuation for the next 57 pips or 50 pips or whatever. Like that move is not done yet for another 50 pips. So that's cool. We're already profitable on that trade, and we're going to let it keep going. Like we're taking part of that process, which is really, really cool. Here's the Euro franc. Anything of noteworthiness here? It's very choppy. I stuff like this bugs me. This was cool. This happened earlier today. You can see this was kind of like an order block area right here, and the market pulled into it, went up. Not super awesome, but like sure it worked. Like I'd like stuff that's more defined than that. Okay, euro pound. This was the block area right here, pulled into it. Would I buy this thing if it pulled back? Honestly, probably not. I don't know if this one's just kind of choppy. So I'll move on to the next. This one, I don't know. Does it have a defined break of structure? Maybe this right here. Like if this is the structure that it broke, what caused it to break? Probably either this little block or this little block right here, or this little one right here. There's actually multiple, but technically this whole area of purple would be a buy zone. Yeah. I don't know. I'm not, I like stuff that's more defined than that though. So I'm just trying to take better trades, guys. Yeah, I mean, like if this guy pulled back, where would we buy on here? Well, probably see, this was one from the other day that I drew out. Anyway, that worked out for a little bit. Yeah, if this thing pulled back, this one's pretty defined. Like whatever happened here caused the market to break out. This would be a really great little spot to buy with a tighter stop loss. I like stuff like this. Now the problem is the market going to pull back into this area? I don't know. Like that's what's hard. I guess you just place the trade and hope it triggers, right? Because okay, let's put it this way, guys. This is a huge tip and something to put in perspective to think about. How often, think of this question. How often does the markets, or how long does the market spend in an order block? Not long. That's the answer. Not long. Because if a market comes into a supply demand zone, if demand is there or supply is there, the market gets excited and recognizes it, and it's first come, first serve. So unless you have a limit order ready to go on these supply demand zones, most of the time you're not going to take part or participate in these. And if you do participate, you're going to participate when the trade's halfway over and your reward to risk ratio will now be upside down. So if you want those extreme 5-to-1, 4-to-1, 3-to-1 reward to risk ratios, you have to learn how to use pending orders. Because if you don't, you're not going to be first come, first serve because you won't be there. You just won't be at the table, right? Because I guarantee you, if this market were to come back into here, the market would either it wouldn't work out quickly, or the market would bounce off of it and then quickly go off, right? It'll either come into here quickly maybe it just blows through it. Sure, that happens sometimes. But most of the time it would come down, hit this level very quickly, and then quickly leave. So it's first come, first serve, right? So you gotta have pending. So I will place a pending order on this after, and I'll post it on Telegram, and you guys can take it with me. You can just copy and paste my trade if that's something you want to do at your own risk. Sure, go ahead and do that. Anyway, let's look for some others here. Oh, this is the trade from, oh man, this is the trade from the other day. I don't know if you remember this, but I found an order block on Thursday night right here. I got pretty excited because whatever happened here is what created a breakout and subsequent break of structure. The market came right to it, but barely wicked me out right there. You can see barely wicked me out on that stop loss and then just went up from there. Anyway, on this one in the future, I guess I just needed to include that extra wick and I would have been fine right there. But it's fine. It's just a trade from the past. In fact, I can delete that now because it's in the past now, right? Trade's over. Where are we going now? We're starting to make lower lows. We still have a higher high. It's a little bit like of a neutral bias. Where's the next order block? I would say kind of this area is the next order block right here. Yeah. This is the last major candle down before major move up. And we've got that right there. I would say if it came into here, this would be a good buy. So I might place that one too. It just depends. I'll look at, I'm going to do some more research this afternoon, but yeah, I'll get us some trades posted. Okay, here's the pound Aussie. This thing's in an uptrend generally. Where would we buy on this? Well, I do like if it pulled back into here, that could be a good opportunity, or even this guy right here. You could actually include all of this. That could be a good buy area. I was going to say this is an extremely good buy area, but it's already tapped into this. This right here is a good little buy block. You can see the market earlier today came right back into this and shot up. I need to be better at this. I honestly last night I just wasn't trading that hard. See, look at this. This is the New York session, what's in green. So last night the market would have been, right here. That's where when I was doing my analysis last night, and I should have been able to catch this. And that's my bad for not catching this. Because that could have been a great little buy opportunity. It's okay. I just need to get in there and do this analysis a little bit more. Plus, I don't really trade on Sunday nights anyway, but tonight I'll definitely be looking for these opportunities a little bit more detail in more detail because look, that is textbook right there. Absolute textbook trade. Hey, you got break of structure right here. What caused the break of structure? Oh, whatever the market did right here. This area, whatever the market was doing here is what caused this. You could even include, if you wanted to, that whole thing. Yeah, whatever the market did here caused that break. You probably would have bought in there, been profitable for a little bit, maybe an opportunity to buy in again, but you're fine because your stop loss is out here. And yeah, that's amazing, guys. What's the reward to risk ratio on this? Just for those that are curious, if you place a trade there, guys, like that's almost 3 to 1. That's exactly what we want. Something between 2 and 3 to 1 is a good trade. I will take 2 to 1s. So since that's in my trade plan to take 2 to 1s, the fact that I could get something that's over 2 to 1, almost 3 to 1, that's a great trade to take. All right, guys. So we're gonna start wrapping up here soon. Let's take a look at this. Looks like our bankers close trade's doing great. We're up, well, I guess we're up 68 pips, 65 pips I've booked already 16.9. Is there more to go? I'm not certain. I'm just going to close a couple more trades out just to make sure that we've booked some good profits today. So I've now booked 46.10 pips, and I've got 39, I guess over 40 now unrealized. I'm going to let those kind of sit. At this point, we don't need our pending orders because the market has chosen to go in our direction right away. I'm going to bring these, I'm going to get rid of these pending orders. And I'm just going to let these last 5 trades run. Where do I put my stops? I'm still going to not put them at break even just yet. I'm just kind of scanning for where the most obvious order block is here on a 5-minute. It kind of looks like there's a couple of main areas of interest, right? So I would say this is probably your most solid order block area right there. So you don't want to have your stop loss in there. In fact, it's almost like you should have more buys inside there. And then the next area of interest where there could be a lot of demand, I would say whatever this thing was right here is the last thing that caused this breakout. So I'm fine with stop losses below that, but not in between or inside those, definitely not. And it's up to you guys. Like those are good buy zones. Like if you wanted to continue to buy the Euro franc today, I would say, yeah, anything inside those blocks would be great little buy areas. And then, yeah, let's let these guys ride a little bit. I'm going to scatter these targets out. And we've already booked most of our profits, but yeah, I would like to see if there's a chance the market can come up here today and just close us out of those, because that will really extend our bankers close trade, make us very, very profitable on the day if we can get up to there. And again, I'm going to let you guys make it your own call if you want to buy inside these 2 boxes. I think those are great places to buy. If the market comes back and retests this area or this area, those are really good spots. I'm not going to post it that way because I just want to make sure I secure our profits for the day. But yeah, if you want to buy in those, I'd say that's fine. And then yeah, have your stop losses outside of those zones. You should be good. But other than that, we'll just post. Obviously, we have our trade that's open on the Euro cab. We'll let that continue to ride. And then we will post some more trades this afternoon and this evening based off of the things that we talked about today. A lot of the trades that you saw me look at and analyze with you will get taken. Most of them will be taken via limit orders. Again, you're just waiting for the market to come and hit those. And we already talked about why that's important. You know, if the market doesn't, you know, if the market hits one of those areas, it usually hits quickly and goes away quickly. I mean, you look at, I told you that textbook trade. This was a textbook trade right here on the pound Aussie. This was textbooked, right? How much time did the market spend inside this block? 1, 2 bars right there, 3 bars right there, and maybe like 5 bars right here. So I'm just going to say a total of 10 bars, but how many bars have elapsed since last night? How many bars is that? 70 bars, guys. So 1/7 of the time in the last 12 hours, there was an opportunity. And may I remind you guys too, that most of that opportunity was in the middle of the night here in the United States. So you would have had to have been up pretty late. And then that window is also like this big, really tiny. So that's, again, just the concept why you have to use these limit orders, because there's no other way around it. So anyway, we'll take more limit order trades later. I will get those posted, and then for you guys to go in and on your own time and take those. Feel free to look at your own order blocks. Send me a screenshot if you find one that looks good. I might take the trade with you. So, all right, guys, appreciate your attendance. Thanks for coming, and we'll see you in the next webinar.